Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Jai Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Jai Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Jai Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to your Capricorn full moon lunar eclipse astrology. My name is Jai Gobind, and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you guys so much for watching this video live and being in the chat right now. And thank you to those of you that are watching the replay. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified of when I go live and when I upload videos. And also make sure to give this video a thumbs up, especially if you like it. We have some awesome news on the channel. I'm really excited to share with you guys that I have officially opened up the registration for the Moon Goddess training, and it begins on July 19th. It's going to be a 4-week program. So it's going to be, hey Ellie, hey Sparky, hey Wendy. It's going to be different than the usual program because I'm not going to focus too much on the moon centers. What I'm going to be focusing more on is the actual practicing or embodying the moon goddess, and also talking about your astrology in regards to the moon. So where the moon is in your chart, what aspects it's making to other planets, and also how to tell and how to figure out where the transiting moon is aspecting your chart. So I'm really excited about that. If you want to join me, I would love it. And I have way reduced the price of the program since kind of a big piece of it has evolved into something different. That's what I'm gonna say. So you guys that have done it before, you know, you're more than welcome to join us for the 4 weeks since you are already in the Facebook group. And that is something that you do get if you join the Moon Goddess training. What you're going to get is access to all the future Moon Goddess trainings. You can always join us, join the sisterhood, because that's what we're doing. We're building a group of women that will support each other and be there for each other. So at least online, in the online world. And I know there's been a lot of beautiful friendships that come out of these programs. A lot of people connect with each other. It's just a really beautiful experience. So if you want to join, the price is only $108 for the 4 weeks, and we dive in on June 19th. The coolest thing about it is that it's exactly on the double new moon in Cancer, which is the sign that the moon rules. So it's the perfect time to start. So we'll start with the new moon and we'll go through her whole cycle. So it'll be the new moon, and then we'll go towards, we'll meet during the full moon, and then 2 weeks later, that cycle will end and there'll be another new moon. So just want to let you guys know that that's happening. Starts July 19th. And I know there's been a lot of interest in that throughout the months where I haven't actually had it going on. I think the last time we did it was like January or February. But it's definitely time. I can feel it, especially right now that there's so much confusion out there in the world, and I think people are really needing like a practice at home that I am wearing the necklace, a practice at home that they can actually do every day to help support them during these crazy times. And that's exactly what this training is all about. So there's more information on the website. It's only 108, and you can sign up by just going to the online courses link. The link is also in the description of this video. And somebody just mentioned it. I am wearing the new what should I call it? The Zodiac jewelry line or something like that. Anyways, it's going to be on my Etsy shop. I think I'm going to launch it tomorrow on the full moon, even though this full moon, and we're going to talk about it, this full moon is not the most ideal one for like doing really awesome things. It's almost more of a very introspective moon. I think I'm still going to, because of all the Capricorn energy, and because I have Jupiter Capricorn, and I'm going through a Jupiter return year. For me, it is kind of an auspicious day to launch this new jewelry design. So I think I'm going to be able to do that by tomorrow. I'm just waiting on a couple more items to make sure, actually a couple more beads for two of the months, because the necklace has these two little bars. I posted it on my Instagram, and I posted it on, I think, my Facebook page, my business page, but it's got, the two little bars have your sun and your moon sign. And then the two hearts, I'm wearing the gold one because I just love gold. The two little hearts on the gold one have your rising sign and your Venus sign. And then the little bead is your birthstone. And mine is pearl because I was born in June. So I have the actual stones, you guys. It's not like a fake thing. It's the actual birth. This is an actual, in the picture, it's an actual freshwater pearl that I've used for like tantric necklaces like that, and those go for like $300. But these are going to be way more affordable. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to make something like this for such a long time, and it's finally coming together. And then the silver one has the two little bars, but then the little heart is just one heart, and it's a little bit bigger, and I can fit both the rising sign and the Venus sign on that heart, and that's why I did it that way. And then you get your little birthstone. So look out for that tomorrow or Sunday. I'm going to be talking about it tomorrow too. But those are the two things that are really, really awesome that are coming up. So I would love for you to join me if you are ready to dive into the Moon Goddess training and also get your little necklace on. And I think I'm going to make some more Moon Goddess necklaces. Let me bring this one closer so I can take this one off. Unless it's all tangled, which hopefully it's not. But the Moon Goddess necklace is a necklace that I designed for the Moon Goddess training women. This necklace is legit. So the pendant is gold filled. Everything's gold filled on this necklace. The chain, the wire, everything. I've had it for over a year, you guys, and it has not tarnished at all. I've moved. I've done so many things with it. I wear it all the time, and I have not had to brighten it up at all. I'm like, this is epic, because I'm like, you can tell, when things get kind of gnarly, that the metal they use or whatever is like just average. Anyways, just want to say that because this is epic. So it's got the moon. I'm gonna make some more of these too. It's got the moon phases. Right? The phases of the moon pendant. It's got a moonstone here. And then all along the chain, there's 11 little stones. There's 2 of each. There's 11 little stones. Each one of those stones is one of the moon centers. And we'll learn about them in the Moon Goddess training briefly. I'm not going to go into detail, but briefly. But this is to help you balance your moon centers. And when we do the training, we're going to talk about how basically our energy as women, as the sacred divine feminine, we flow. Like, we're just all over the place, and it's completely natural. Like, that's who we are. So in order to fully understand who you are, you have to know the sort of the science behind it, I guess, or the intuitive side behind it. So all of this stuff is going to be available very soon. I'm like super excited about it, and to tell you guys just feels like, yes, it's happening. Thank you guys for being here in the chat. And remember, Aquarian Astrology Module 1 and 2 are ready to go, and I'm going to start designing Module 3. And we're going to do it at the end of July, towards the end of July, but Module 3 will be all about the moon. So the theme of the moon is really coming up this month. And speaking of the moon, of course, we have this epic Capricorn full moon lunar eclipse tomorrow, July 4th, the 4th into the 5th. So Saturday night into Sunday. And it's literally Saturday night where everyone would normally be out watching the fireworks. But somehow a lot of the fireworks have been canceled. Don't you think that's weird? However, this moon is not the one that you want to go out there and like absorb. And I'll tell you why. Did you see the title of the video? I'm drinking turmeric milk with my own homemade almond milk. Oh, it's so good. It's like healing me. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you to the moderators that are in here. So the title of the video is Something Lurks in the Shadows. Doesn't that sound creepy? But when we look at the moon, when we look at what this moon represents, we're going to be able to see. And then the next new moon is the double new moon in Cancer, which will link up the energy of the last new moon solar eclipse in Cancer and the next, like 2 new moons in Cancer. Something's going on. Something's going on for sure. So let me pull up my notes and let's dive right in. Dive right in. And I will go over at the end of this broadcast the each of the houses, so where this moon is going to be happening in your chart. I know this is where things start to shift. Well, it's like a turning point. We just got through the second Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. There's one more. Yeah, deep and dark is right. There's one more Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, and that's not till November. You know, we got that Mars in Aries. It's going to go retrograde in September, so you got to get stuff done before September, whatever it is you want to do. Those themes are all going on right now, and they're quite, hey Jill, they're quite wild. So anyways, I didn't finish my sentence about the Aquarian astrology. If you want to learn astrology, I have a course that I've started, and we've got modules 1 and 2 ready. There's a link in the description to get to those courses, and they're only $33 each. They're epic. They're like 2.5 hours each of a video, and then you get a bunch of handouts. I mean, this is awesome stuff. The next module is going to be in July. So if you want to join us live for that one, getting a call. If you want to join us live for that one, you can. And that's the funnest way to join the live. But you can also get the replay once it's over. So these things are going to be continuously available for you guys whenever you're ready to start learning astrology. And then also the summer webinar was awesome. We had a blast doing the webinar. We talked about the next 3 months of astrology and what's coming up in your houses and your signs. So check that video out as well. That one's only 15. So the first thing that we need to talk about when it comes to this Capricorn full moon lunar eclipse is that the moon in Capricorn, I know, the moon in Capricorn does not, it's in its detriment in Capricorn. And the detriment position is basically the position that it's a little bit weaker in, because it's the opposite position of its ruling sign. So the moon normally rules the sign of Cancer, right? The crab, the water, the emotions. But then you go to the opposite side of the spectrum and you've got Capricorn, and the moon feels uncomfortable there. It's weaker. It's not as strong. It's almost like it can get plastered if it's not careful. And Capricorn, what Capricorn does to our emotions, and this is not to diss Capricorn or anything like that, because Capricorn has its epicness. Capricorn is the sign of like ambition and success and moving forward in life. And Sparky. And it's got its place, like in the zodiac. Like Capricorn holds its ground really strongly, but it's not an emotional kind of thing. Capricorn is much more, it knows what it wants. It like moves, it moves forward. It has goals. It's very organized. It's very disciplined. And when you say discipline and emotions, it just doesn't quite fit. You know what I mean? And that's what happens when the moon is in Capricorn. It causes our emotions to feel restricted. It causes the restriction of the expression of our emotions, and we don't really feel that comfortable. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with Capricorn per se, but when you're talking about astrology and where you're talking about, the essential dignities, and you see the moon is in its detriment, that you need to look at that, you need to see like there's something here that, doesn't quite, it makes the moon not feel comfortable. I'm going to pull up the chart so we can actually see it while I'm talking about it. It's very possible. Sparky says, no wonder why I hate falling in love. Capricorn. Yeah. Because it doesn't want to lose control. Hang on, let me edit this image real quick. We're just gonna flip on over so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Oh, it is already. Okay. So that should work. Man, I really need the thicker stuff. Thank you very much. Okay. So let me move this out of my way for me on my screen. So here's the chart. You guys good? You can see it? There's so much rearranging I got to do when I do these lives, you guys. So let's look at this other important part of this moon, which is the south node. The south node is right here. So here's the moon, right? Here's Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, south node. On the other side of the opposition, you've got north node, Mercury, and the sun. And they're in Cancer. They're in the moon's home sign. So I'm going to point that out real quick as I start talking about it. But the first thing I want to mention is about the south node. So this is an eclipse. Hello, Pawan. And so when you have eclipses, you're going to know for sure the moon is either with the south node or it's with the north node. So this is a south node eclipse, which means that not only is this the third eclipse in a row of this eclipse season, but it is a south node eclipse, which means that it's going to bring up karmic things to be resolved. And when the south node is in Sagittarius, it's about our belief systems, about the truth being hidden from view, about there being a false belief systems out there that people are buying into in terms of just anything in life. Anything. So it's like it's the feeling of like you can't really trust anybody. And the crazy thing about it is these these energies between the south node and the north node are air and fire. And when you put them together, they create more fire. So it's kind of like, what can I compare it to? It's just like when we talk about the tower moment, or the phoenix rising from the ashes. It's like that kind. It's like a transformative fire, because it is connected to the nodes. And so with it being a south node eclipse, that means that the energy is focused on things from the past that are needing to be, resolved, that are going to come up. So it's not going to feel like, yay, full moon. It's going to be like, oh my God, that's really heavy. Here's the other thing I want to show you. Look at this stellium, you guys. And this is why I said, something's lurking in the shadows. Yeah, it's Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter behind the moon. It's crazy. Because if you were to look at the moon in the sky, you would be able to see Saturn and Jupiter, but you wouldn't be able to see Pluto because it's too far to the naked eye. But if you looked at the moon, this full moon, it's like you'll be able to see those other two planets behind the moon, like kind of, in alignment with the moon, and it's kind of creepy. So with the moon aligned with Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn, and remember, Saturn, just 29 degrees of Capricorn is no joke. I've said this before, that the 29th degree of any sign is where it's intensity. It's like the last little steps. It is going backwards, but it doesn't matter. It's still at 29 degrees. He just moved into Capricorn. This whole thing screams trouble. Trouble. I'm just kidding. Maybe not trouble, but I don't know. Not really happy energy. Not like happy-go-lucky. This is, if you break down each of these planets, you've got Saturn, who is literally the lord of karma and the lord of time, in its ruling sign of Capricorn at 29 degrees. Okay, just that alone is intense. But no, let's add Pluto and then Jupiter. So then you're talking about, so Saturn's at its strongest in Capricorn, 29 degrees. And Saturn is like the authority, it's the restrictor. Then you got Pluto, the god of the underworld, in the sign of Capricorn, was just like, it's buddying up with Saturn to like keep destroying things and keep creating more restrictions and changing the world. Old structures die, new ones are put into place. And then you got Jupiter right there, which in Capricorn, Jupiter is actually what we call in its fall position. And that being in fall position is different than being in detriment. The moon's in detriment, Jupiter's in fall. Both of those things, the angel of death and the angel of darkness, right? Oh my God. Both of those things they're not good things when you look at a chart. Normally, Jupiter and the moon are like kind of, they're a good energy, especially Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet that brings in the abundance and the good luck and all that stuff, and the gifts and things like that from the universe, and the opportunities. But in Capricorn, it's like it doesn't want to be in Capricorn. It's like it feels like it's being forced to restrict itself, to restrict its gift of giving, right? Because Jupiter just gives, but now it can't give us anything. It can only like kind of sit by and watch as it's being used to expand the energy of these two other wicked planets. And then the moon, the poor moon, if you think about what the moon represents, she's like in the middle of all this. She's like, where am I? She's confused. She's like kind of scared. She finds herself in the middle of this, not just there, but she's being eclipsed by the earth. So the light that it normally gets from the sun is completely being taken away. And so it's left in the dark. Literally. It's going to turn blood red when it happens. Like that's a lunar eclipse. The moon turns blood red because its light is gone and there's only a little bit coming from around. Hey babe, there's only a little bit. And so like it creates this weird blood red, like it's whoa, it's a little gnarly. And when you've got those like, the planet of, like Mystery Science is saying, the angel of death and the angel of darkness. Yikes. So something is lurking in the shadows. And I don't know what it is, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. You know what else is crazy? That America was born, right? July 4th, where they signed the papers. Did you know that 2 days before they signed the papers, there was actually a full moon in Capricorn, and they decided not to sign the papers on that day because of that, and then they waited till 2 days later? Anyways, this many years later, the sun, America's sun at 13 degrees is going to be exactly opposed by this. This is going to oppose America's sun. Is this the Pluto return of America? Lord have mercy. So this is a big deal because eclipses mark the 6 months journey into the future. And this is a powerful one for the journey that the U.S. is going to be taking moving forward. It's the perfect example of what is going on in the world. Okay? I'm not going to use examples, but I'm just going to tell you. Okay, so you've got the light of the sun, which is our soul. It's soul, it's joy, it's our full expression. You've got the light of the sun, which the full moon normally reflects really brightly, right? The full moon's like, yes, I'm like reflecting to you the light of your soul. And you're just like soaking it up. Because we absorb the energy of the moon, especially when it's full. That's why you put your crystals out and you let the moon like shine its light on them. They did this experiment where the full moon light, the light of the moon, I think in New Mexico, or maybe it was Arizona, I don't know, but like this was a while ago, like years ago. But they did this experiment where they captured the moonlight, and it was healing people. Anyways, so you've got the light of the sun, the expression of our soul and our joy, which the moon normally reflects brightly, is being eclipsed by the earth. The earth is right here, and it's blocking, right? If you think the light of the sun, somehow the moon and the sun and the earth are exactly placed distance-wise to where when eclipses happen, this is what happens, right? It covers the light. It doesn't let the light come in. Here's the light coming in. It's okay. Sit. Got it. All right. I don't have to explain that to you. I don't even know how to talk about it. But so basically, the light, the reflecting light of the moon is being eclipsed by the earth, and the situation that's going on the earth is left in the dark. It's like earth doesn't know what's coming next. And she finds herself in the darkness in a room, right, with like the mafia lord, Kronos, and the devil, I mean, what do you think is going on in that room? What do you think these planets are planning for the next 6 months? It really makes you wonder. The moon is the divine feminine. It's the mother. It's our emotions. It's our fears too, facing our fears, which is necessary. And it's the reflection of our soul expression. So something is lurking in the shadows. And I don't know why, but it's kind of creepy. It's kind of crazy. But that's the only way I can really like explain, this moon. It's reality hitting you. Because last time there was like a Capricorn stellium in the sky was when the South Node was also in Capricorn, but the South Node is no longer there. And when the South Node is involved, it creates like I said, it creates like a fog. And this is a South Node eclipse, but it's not in Capricorn. The South Node is in Sagittarius. And so because the South Node is in a different sign, the reality that comes through with these planets is there's no fog. There's nothing hiding the truth. So it's plain and simple, like this is what's happening, and there's really no way to not see that, right? We're talking about the elephant in the room in the summer webinar that's gonna just come out and like literally become completely what's the word? It's gonna materialize in front of our eyes. So if we look at the opposite, if we look at the sun, North Node, Sun, and Mercury, the resolution of the energy, I believe, is found with the Sun and Mercury in the North Node. With the Sun conjunct Mercury, we have to think about the Cancer energy and also the mind. And that's the heart space. That's your heart center. That's where you feel like home. And so the thoughts, but also remember this, that Mercury is retrograde right now. So there's a lot of reflection going on. It kind of feels like we don't have a choice but to look at it and like open up our hearts as we look at it and like see the truth, but like see it with an open heart. Because Cancer is all about connecting to that heart space and what feels home to us. So it's a good time to write down your thoughts, but it's not a good time to put your crystals out. So if you were planning on putting your crystals to charge them tomorrow, like don't do it. You don't want these guys to charge your crystals, okay? you don't want that crew to charge your crystals. The other aspect that's happening is Chiron and Mars, and they're almost conjunct. They're going to conjunct at 9 degrees when Mars meets up with Chiron at 9 degrees. But they're squaring the moon, and they're also squaring the sun, creating this T-square. They're literally T-squaring the moon. And so we've seen Mars move into Aries, and once it moved into Aries, I felt it really strongly. I don't know about you guys, but I felt it really strongly that everything and everyone seemed to start being on edge a little bit. The energy feels like heightened. When Mars catches up to Chiron, it's going to activate this like massive healing, massive ego healing. Yeah, keep those demons away from your crystals. I mean, I don't know. You can do whatever you want, but like, I don't know. I don't know about this moon. Something's lurking. So this means facing our ego wounds of feeling like we don't know who we are, like we don't know how to express ourselves. I think we're seriously in a collective identity crisis. And we're about to wake up to the realization of that, or at least in America right now, we're about to wake up to it, that we don't really know who we are. Have we ever really known who we are? As a country, as a community, as a everything, have we really known who we are? Have we really had an identity? I don't know. I think we're going to wake up to the realization that we're having an identity crisis. And everybody's like on different sides. No one can agree right now. And we're all fighting over stupid shit, to be honest. And then we're going to have to deal with it. So to do something about it, to heal it, and Mars and Chiron are making sure with their T-square to the full moon that for this theme is the theme for the 6 months, especially in the U.S., because the U.S. sun is at 13 degrees, and this moon is exactly aspecting the sun, the natal sun of the U.S. So how will experiencing and seeing the truth cause you to act in your life? This is a moon where we feel the powers of the outer planets affecting us strongly, because the moon is our emotions, right? Where we feel, the only way to trust, to truly get through these trying times is to remember where we come from and remember that the moon, thank God, the moon is only going to be there for a moment. Oh, and then it's going to continue on and then exactly conjunct Jupiter and Pluto. And then keep going and then exactly conjunct Saturn, but it's going to be like 2.5 days and we're off to the next sign. So thank God the moon is not static. It moves quickly. And this becomes a moment in time to remind us of the power of Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter to affect us very strongly when they come together, especially in the sign of Capricorn. Like Capricorn's no joke. You guys tell me which card represents Capricorn in the major arcana? Here's your quiz. Which card is Capricorn in the major arcana? I'm going to wait for you guys to answer me while I drink some of my golden milk. Answer me this, riddle me that. Oh, come on. Somebody's got to know. There we go. Ross, he says the devil. Stacy says the devil. Yes, it is the devil card, you guys. I mean, I'm not saying you got to think of like, what does the devil represent? The devil in the tarot is the addictions. The devil card is like the toxicity. Our soul group knows this one, like, but it's really like the facing the addictions, like the fact that you trap yourself in the card, in the traditional. Let's see if I can pull up the image because these things help us understand. I don't think I can, but because I'm not on Zoom, it's so much easier on Zoom. But the devil, there's like the devil's up above, and then underneath him, there's like these two humans, and they're all chained together. They're in chains or something. And right, exactly. So it's like the chains that bind us. And then like, obviously, the message is you got to release those addictions, right? Release those things. That's the message of the card. And it's the same thing with this moon. It's like we're going to see the chains that are binding us. And then Pluto's going to go, it's time to break the chain. Break and break and break the chain. The one good aspect, okay, is this moon is trining Uranus. But there's something really interesting about Uranus. Uranus moves really slow. And he just moved into 10 degree, like literally, right? 0, 0, 10. There's this thing called decans in astrology. So like from 0 to 9 is the first decan degrees. From 10 to 19 is the second decan. And from 20 to 29 is the third decan. And so when you look at degrees, when you start to get into degrees and the symbols of degrees, when you see something that in the first decan of 0 to 9 degrees, that's like the essence of that sign. So 0 to 9 degrees that's Taurus energy. It's level 1, right? It's like level 1, level 2, and level 3. Each time the degrees go further and further, it solidifies the Taurus energy. However, it also means that when you get to the second decan, you can go and jump over to the next sign. So the person's going to have an influence of Gemini energy. And then the third decan would be Cancer. Taurus and Cancer. So I'm not going to here to explain the astrology, but I just want to tell you that the 10th degree is significant because it has officially moved into the second decan. Of course, it's going to go retrograde and blah, blah, blah. But at least for this moon, it's right there. So this is uncharted territory, especially with Uranus. Uranus he's the one planet that goes backwards. He's the one planet that's like sideways. His orbit is backwards. He's sideways. He's not straight up and down like all the other planets. He's like sideways on the ecliptic, right? He is unpredictable. He's about he rules revolution. He rules the sign of Aquarius, which is the future. So what does all this tell us? It tells us that the one positive aspect, sorry, my iPad. The one positive aspect that we have is unpredictability. It's like, all right, I guess. You know what I mean? I guess we have to take it. We have to take it. So, this is going to bring up unexpected things, hidden things, things that can cause revolutionary change or alter the course dramatically. So you got to ask yourself, are you ready for more change? I mean, yeah, we can't go back to the way things were. There's no way. It's just not going to happen. Life is changing, just like, I know, all the other major historical moments. You know, the last time we had that Jupiter, Saturn, and Capricorn energy was, I think, the Renaissance, right? Like 500 years ago or something. And there was huge shifts in humanity. We're in that shift right now. Like we just need to hang in there. And like, we chose to come here during this time and be alive right now. Why? You need to ask yourself that. Why did you choose to be here? Do you think that it's all for nothing? No, I don't think so. I don't think so anyways. So are you ready for a little bit of more reality to sink in? Are you ready for the restrictions to come back? Because that's, for the doors to kind of close again. Because with Saturn in Capricorn, especially at 29 degrees, creating this energy for the next 6 months, that's exactly what's going to happen. Things are going to get serious. We're going to have to figure out our own way through the world. We won't have anyone else but ourselves to rely on, and we will have to get very creative as to how we bring money in, how we access our money, especially if you have if you're one of those people that has been laid off, that has been fired, that has been let go, somehow you're going to have to find your stability again. And it's not going to be because you can't keep waiting for help, right? For a stimulus check or whatever. Those kind of things, I think it happened and it's over. Our best years were in a different world, right? Last lifetime, I had way more fun than this. So this is the moon that says no one is going to save you, right? In Capricorn, she's got no power. You need to save yourself. You need to be smart about it, Gemini North Node, and you need to get to work while Mars is direct in Aries and get as many things as you need done before it goes retrograde. Because when it goes retrograde in September, you're going to feel like you're going to have to fight for what you want, to fight to get what you need. I mean, that's gnarly. So do it now. By September, you better be where you want to be with the people that you want to be with, ready to hunker down, wait the storm to pass. But things are going to keep escalating, and they're going to be changing rapidly because Gemini Sag, mutable nodal aspect, mutable nodal transit. It's like all over the place. It's like here and then there and then fire, more air feeds the fire, it gets stronger. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, the moon literally gets cut off from the sun by the earth in Capricorn. Yeah. It's like, ugh, choking. Even though, I remember that there was a lunar eclipse in Leo. And that was gnarly too. But that was a different energy because Leo is ruled by the sun. So it was totally different. But I remember I watched that lunar eclipse and it was like, whew, powerful. And I have a moon in Leo. So you got to look at all the energies that are going on, right? Exactly happening during the exact moment of the moon. And that's what we do. That's what we do here. So the last thing I wanted to share with you guys is the Sabian symbol for 13 degrees of, let me go back to me. The Sabian symbol for 13 degrees of Capricorn. You ready for this? I talked about this in the summer webinar. It's this. Having removed the vines and debris covering an ancient monument, two scholars begin a lengthy argument over the correct translation of its hieroglyphic inscriptions. Meaning they don't know what's up, but somehow they're arguing about it. I can't even with this. I can't even with this. Okay. This is about uncovering the truth and then beginning to make sense of it. Okay? This is about asking ourselves existential questions about life. Those are good things. These are scientific attempts to arrive at the one correct interpretation versus the acceptance of interpretive ambiguity. Remember, Neptune retrograde and the veil is off. This is about cutting through a tangle of myths or lies to uncover the truth. This is catching out other people in lies and inaccuracy. Yikes. This is deep versus superficial readings of reality. This is creating a new formulation that undermines the old paradigm and abandoning outdated positions and building a more solid foundation. Uranus. Boom. Boom. Okay? Okay. This is crazy. That's from the Sabian symbols. Sabian symbols doesn't know, right? The Sabian symbol doesn't know that this moon is conjunct Jupiter and Pluto and Saturn. Right? It's insanity. We'll see if your insanity can be cured. All right, here we go. So how is all this like aspecting your own chart? So do you know your rising sign, you guys? Do you know your rising sign? So I'm going to read this for sun sign and rising sign. But if you feel drawn to one more than the other, be my guest. It's your show. But this is where this is going to be happening, right? So everything I just talked about, like discovering the truth, like the elephant like materializing in the room, like feeling the darkness, feeling the dark aspects, feeling the need to really like break off the chains, feeling the restriction of the chains too. All of this is happening somewhere in your chart, and I'm about to tell you where. So if you're in Aries, sun, or rising, this is happening in your 10th house of career. That's kind of gnarly. It's all going to be gnarly because of everything I just said about the moon. However, you know, you may be feeling this intensity, but I feel like right on the other side of this is like the flip side of the chains. It's like, how do you break the chains? So I guess we can focus on like, we'll feel the restrictions, but we'll also have this desire to break the chains, because that's what it is. Because Pluto transforms. It doesn't just, I mean, it's not just evil, you know? Like, it does transform, and its purpose is always to like growth. So basically 10th house of career for Aries and Aries rising. Taurus, sun and rising, 9th house of spiritual integration. So in terms of like your belief systems, what's going on there? Are you feeling restricted by your belief systems? This has to do with religion and all kinds of stuff like that. Education, higher education. What's the restrictions that you're feeling, and how can you break the chains? For Gemini and Gemini rising, sun and rising, this is in your 8th house. Yee. I mean, I feel like as Geminis, we're feeling this intensely because we're in the house of Pluto. But I think Geminis have been being faced with a lot of like, there's a lot of things going on in our heads about where we want to go. Do we feel comfortable? what do we want to commit to? Those are the things that are coming up for you. So are you ready to commit to a path where you have to work really hard? Where are you going to work really hard? Right? What are you going to put your commitment into? For Cancer, Sun and Rising, this is happening in your 7th house of relationships. So holy moly, can you imagine if you're Cancer and you're in a relationship that you know it's just like, what are you doing? Like, are you just going to give up? Are you just going to give up and just live with all the restrictions that this relationship is causing you? Or are you going to move forward? You know, like, break that chain? What kind of chains are your relationships holding you into, right? What kind of chains are your relationships causing you to feel? What kind of restrictions are they causing you to feel? And how are you going to break those chains? Leo, Sun and Rising, your 6th house of work and being in the present moment. So in terms of your everyday life, your everyday schedule, like everything that you do on a daily basis, the type of work that you do, the way that you do your work. I mean, maybe you feel like you're ready for something different. Maybe you feel too restricted in terms of work. Maybe you feel too restricted in terms of your own schedule. Like, how are you going to break those chains? Create a new schedule for yourself that's going to make you feel more connected to your heart. For Virgo, Sun and Rising, this is in the 5th house of creativity. So this is about, like, where do you feel restricted right now in terms of your creativity? Do you feel like you can't express your creativity? You feel like you are having a hard time manifesting in your life? And if that's the case, how are you going to break that cycle? How are you going to break it? How are you going to bust out of there and realize, like, well, on all of these, we all create our own chains and we all need to break our own chains. If you are Libra and Libra Sun and Rising, this is the 4th house of the home. So damn. I mean, for Libra, relationships are a big deal, but when you're in your 4th house of the home, like when it's in your like territory like that, and you feeling restrictions at home, it's the same. It brings it back to relationships at home. Like, what about being home feels restrictive to you? Other than being forced, into a quarantine. I mean, that feels pretty restrictive for everybody, But either way, how are you going to break those chains? What can you do to make yourself feel not restricted in your own home, right? With Scorpio, Sun and Rising, this is going to be happening in your 3rd house of communication. Let me see, there's a question. I'm not feeling it. I'm Libra rising, but I'm an Aquarius Sun and Taurus moon. Maybe that has something to do with it. Lisa, did you know your exact time that you were born? I think you do, but I'm not sure. So I would go with the Libra rising. But Scorpio in the 3rd house of communication, it's like, whew. If Scorpios feel restricted in their ability to like speak up, right? That's going to be like not good. Because Scorpios always, like, they would like to speak up, but sometimes they reserve the speaking up because they don't feel safe or comfortable yet. So if they feel like they're not going to be received well, they're just going to stay quiet. You know what I mean? So I would say for Scorpios, how can you find ways to unrestrict yourself from speaking your truth in general in life? With Sagittarius, Sun and Rising, this is happening in your 2nd house of finances and values. That's kind of crazy because Capricorn is the sign of like career, right? It's money, it's career, it's jobs, it's things like that. But all this energy in your 2nd house is going to create some restrictions in terms of like money coming in. Like how, in what ways are you holding yourself back from bringing money in? And then in terms of your values, like what belief systems you have that are holding you back from like loving life in a sense. What do you know, what is the most important thing to you? With Capricorn and Capricorn rising, this is gnarly because this is in your first house of the self. So this is about, like, if anybody's having a little bit of an identity crisis, it might be you, or you might be feeling like, actually, I feel completely at home. You might feel completely at home in all this stuff. You might feel like in your power, actually. But there might be those Capricorns that are like, whoa, this is a big shift, because you have to look at yourself in what ways you're restricting yourself. And how are you going to like break yourself out of your own chains like that and set yourself free? And then for Aquarius, Sun and Rising, this is happening in your 12th house of the subconscious mind. Capricorn, the 12th house, that's really weird energy. That's like a restriction of your ability to connect to, you know, your intuition, your psychic gifts. It's almost like, right, you're being eclipsed. Like your crown chakra is like being eclipsed, or your third eye is like calcified. Like that's kind of what that feel. This energy would feel that way in the 12th house. So that is how, so if you think of like in which ways are you restricting yourself, or in which ways are you being restricted maybe by outside forces, to really be able to open up and connect, because you're tapped in, right, to the future, to the kundalini energy. You're tapped into all of that stuff. But if you're not able to see clearly, like, you got to clear up that channel. Meditation will clear, you know, will clear the chakras. Kundalini yoga is good for this, to clear. You can see better with your third eye. And then for Pisces and Pisces rising, this is in your 11th house. So that's networks, systems of networking, friendships. It is also how you share your gifts with the world. So what's holding you back? What's restricting you from doing that, from sharing your gifts with the world? What's restricting you from connecting with people? There's no reason that you can't be connecting with people just because we're all quarantined. We have the internet. Look at us right now. We're all connecting online. So there's ways to connect. And that's what you need to work on for the next 6 months. Because remember, this is 6 months. It's kind of crazy, this stuff. But that's everything that I wanted to cover, you guys, for this moon. It's a lot. I know it's a lot, and I know it feels a little bit heavy, or maybe a lot heavy. Tomorrow we're still gonna do the ceremony. I'm still gonna show up, and we're gonna do a reading, a collective reading with the cards, and I'm gonna play some songs. And I've started playing more music on my Instagram live, which is at Channel for Grace. So make sure you guys follow me over there. I'm going to be doing some more like short, quick little concerts for you here and there. And then I've also started I used to be on Periscope for a long time. And I used to broadcast music there, and I had a lot of people on Periscope that supported me, that some of them followed me over to YouTube, but a lot of them didn't. And so I'm going to start broadcasting just mini little concerts on Periscope for people, and all with the intention of growing the fund, the album fund. And so tomorrow, just be ready for this. If you come to the ceremony tomorrow and you would like to make a donation, the best place to make a donation is to the GoFundMe page. And I have a link in the description of this video. So it'll be a little, my own little campaign to raise money for the album. And I'm so excited. And last night, if you didn't get to watch it, go watch the interview. I interviewed the producer that's going to be producing my album. And also he's going to be in the album himself, because he plays all these instruments. So he's a musician, producer, all of it. I'm really excited about it. I interviewed him last night. So make sure you guys go watch that interview. And if you want to help me and donate to the GoFundMe album page, the link is in the description. Wendy says, Jai, when are you doing mini readings again? So we're going to do mini readings on Sunday. So we have the ceremony tomorrow and we got mini readings on Sunday. So if you want to sign up for those, it's $25 to my PayPal and the link is in the description. Yeah, I'm really excited. There's so many awesome things. It feels like, to me, having a Jupiter return year is all about like we got to get to work. Right now for everybody, it's all about we got to get to work. You got to somehow get back to work and start making things happen for yourself because no one's going to do them for you. We're going to learn some people are going to learn that the hard way. Scary. Really scary. But yeah, that's what's going on. And in the beginning, I mentioned the Moon Goddess training that begins on June 19th. If you want to join, that's a 4-week program for 108. It's the lowest price I've ever had that Moon Goddess training at to help everyone. So I'm not really overpricing stuff right now, especially because a lot of people are like kind of financially in a weird space. So I'm trying to work with everybody that wants to join in these amazing transformative programs that I offer to be able to actually sign up for them. So if you're interested in the Moon Goddess training, it starts on the 19th. Tomorrow I'll talk a little bit more about it, but we start basically just in time for the double new moon in Cancer, which rules the moon. So we go through a whole moon cycle with that Moon Goddess training. And look out for the Etsy. I think I'm going to launch them tomorrow. So if you want to order yours, I think you'll be able to order tomorrow from my Etsy shop. Boom. Yeah, there was a lot of you guys that were interested and you signed up, and I sent a private email to you guys if you expressed interest in the Moon Goddess training, but I don't know that everybody got it. So then it's a different link. It's on my courses page now. It's not in a separate thing. So if you go to my website and you go to online courses, that's where you can sign up for the Moon Goddess training and all of the other online courses. Everything's going to be on there from now on. All right, I'll let you guys go. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I will see you tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, for the full moon lunar eclipse ceremony. And I hope you guys have an awesome evening. We're ending with 33 people in the chat. Yes. Satnam. See you guys tomorrow.